This exchange in Congress highlights an important clash between lawmakers and the Department of Defense over accountability, fiscal responsibility, and national security strategy. Representative Becca Goodlander of New Hampshire pressed Pentagon officials on the late submission of the 2026 defense budget, which by law must be delivered to Congress by the first Monday in February.
The Chair reserves the right to declare the committee in recess at any point. Before we begin, I'd like to remind those in the audience that this hearing is open to the public, but actions that disrupt or distract from the proceedings will not be tolerated. The Chair reserves the right to remove disruptive persons from the hearing. U.S. Capitol Police are on hand to assist with that task, and I thank them for their service. I want to welcome our witnesses and thank them for their service to our great nation. We're here today to hear from the Department of Defense about its FY26 budget request. Unfortunately, we still have not received the FY26 budget. This historic delay by the Office of Management and Budget in releasing this information is absolutely unacceptable. It's impacting our ability to move forward with the NDAA, the next big step in enacting the President's Peace Through Strength agenda. That's a problem because threats to our nation have never been more urgent or complex. Adversaries like China, Russia, North Korea, Iran continue to expand their military power. They're no longer acting alone. These countries are strategically building alliances and supporting each other with drones, munitions, satellite technology, and energy supplies. And we're seeing that acutely in Ukraine. Make no mistake, a Russian victory in Ukraine would be a victory for China, North Korea, and Iran. We cannot let that happen. Russia must be stopped. Russia is not our friend. While our adversaries collaborate on the development and deployment of innovative new capabilities, we are facing challenges. Our defense industrial base has atrophied significantly, making it harder for us to sustain prolonged conflicts. That's why now, more than ever, it is critical that we make a significant investment in our national security. This investment is at the heart of achieving the President Trump's Peace Through Strength agenda. We look forward to steps toward enacting that agenda with our reconciliation legislation. Together with the President and our Senate colleagues, we've developed a historic investment of $150 billion plus-up that will go a long way toward modernizing our military, rebuilding our industrial base, and restoring American deterrence. While this is a great first step, it will have limited impact without sustained investment in the following years. To truly achieve the President's Peace Through Strength agenda, we need to grow the defense spending to at least 4% of GDP. But we need to be smart about how we invest these dollars. That begins with identifying and cutting inefficient and unnecessary DoD spending. The Secretary has taken the lead on that, and we appreciate his work. But spending wisely also means fixing a broken acquisition system that is needlessly driving up cost and delaying delivery of critical capabilities to our warfighters. The current system is simply not meeting our needs or the warfighters. It is not taking advantage of America's innovative private sector, and it's not the most efficient use of taxpayer dollars. The bipartisan SPEED Act that the ranking member and I introduced this week will fundamentally reform defense acquisition. It streamlines the process and significantly reduces the time it takes to field new military capabilities. I know the Secretary is determined to fix the broken system, and I look forward to partnering with him to enact real, meaningful, game-changing reform. I also look forward to understanding from the Secretary what the administration's plans are for a global force posture. Maintaining a forward presence of U.S. troops in strategic areas across the globe is essential to ensuring peace through strength. The current level of American forces stationed in Eastern Europe are a crucial bulwark against further Russian aggression and another devastating war in Europe. Our forces in South Korea protect our ally, but also serve as a critical strike force if North Korea attempts a launch on our homeland. U.S. service members in CENTCOM and AFRICOM are fighting daily to defeat the terrorist threat against America and Israel while maintaining maximum pressure on Iran. And our forces in Japan, the Philippines, and throughout the Pacific are keeping China's hegemonic desires in check and preserving trade routes critical to our economy. Together, this collaborative posture forms the backbone of American deterrence. Secretary Hegseth is right when he says America first does not mean America alone. I appreciate the time you recently spent in the Pacific and Europe reinforcing our alliances and partnerships, but also pressing our allies to increase their defense spending. It is long past due for our NATO allies and those around the globe to shoulder a greater share of the collective defense. But we must understand it will take some time for them to grow their capacity. In the interim, we should not make large-scale posture changes that undermine our deterrence. I look forward to working with the administration on building the ready, capable, and lethal fighting force we need to deter our adversaries. And with that, I yield to my friend.
She emphasized that Congress cannot exercise its constitutional power of the purse without a budget. When asked directly when lawmakers could expect it, defense officials avoided giving a firm commitment. Goodlander noted for the record that this failure not only delays oversight but also violates a legal requirement. She then raised the department's long-standing failure to pass a full audit, something required since the 1990s. While the Pentagon has promised to achieve this by 2028, Goodlander insisted that accountability should come much sooner. She tied this to broader concerns about threats from China, Russia, and Iran. In China, she pressed defense leaders about artificial intelligence. They confirmed that AI capabilities are central to U.S. military decision-making and command systems. Goodlander then asked whether American AI dominance should ever be bargained away in trade talks with Beijing. Pentagon officials pushed back, saying the president is not surrendering U.S. technological advantages. Turning to Russia, she asked directly whether the Pentagon had ordered a pause in offensive cyber operations. Defense leaders denied the claim outright, stating that the reporting suggesting otherwise was false. Goodlander made sure the denial was on the record, promising to follow up. She concluded by raising constitutional principles. In light of concerns raised during the hearing, she asked the Pentagon to commit to following any future rulings of the Supreme Court. Officials responded by noting their disagreement with lower courts setting foreign policy, but did not directly answer whether they would fully abide by the court's authority. This hearing underscored tensions between congressional oversight, executive branch discretion, and the balance of power when it comes to national security. For Congress, the delays and lack of commitments reinforced concerns about transparency. For the Pentagon, it was a reminder of the growing pressure to modernize responsibly while maintaining trust with lawmakers and the American people. If you find this breakdown useful, make sure to subscribe for more clear and fact-based reporting on Congress, defense policy, and U.S. government accountability.